Right, good morning. We're going to do some more ratio problems today. The thing I want to remind you of is the work we did, I think it was last week, where we looked at recipes and we sort of changed the recipe. I think the recipe was for flapjacks and it was for 6 people, and then I asked you how much of the ingredients would you need if it was for 3 people. I also want to remind you of some of the work that we did using the bar model, because I think both of those 2 things will come in handy when you attempt the questions today. Again, the questions are going to come from the White Rose website, and I'll put a link directly to that. The key thing, when we had our flapjack recipe, it started off with, so it was for 6 people. No, it wasn't. It was for 10 flapjacks, and there was 120 grams of sugar in that recipe. So just looking at sugar, if we know that it makes 10 flapjacks, how much sugar makes 1 flapjack? So I've got my recipe, 120 grams of sugar. Let's say it has 100 grams of butter for 1 flapjack. So 120 grams of sugar makes 10 FJs. So each of these would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 flapjacks. So each of these would represent 1 flapjack. How are we going to get from that 120 grams of sugar that would make 10 to find out how many grams of sugar would be needed to make 1? 120 divided by 10. I'm sure you know this in your head, but hundreds, tens and units, I'm going to take it 1 space to the right, because that's dividing by 10, which is shifting 1 space to the right. So each one of these is going to be 12 grams. Again, with the butter, you could have 100 grams of butter, and you've got 10 there. 100 divided by 10. I'm almost certain you'll know that one straight away. And then each of the flapjacks are going to now have, so for 1 flapjack, it's going to be 12 grams of sugar and 10 grams of butter. Once you've done this step, if somebody said to you, well, how much butter do I need to make 37 flapjacks? Then that's quite straightforward. We know how much sugar is needed to make 1. That's 12 grams. So we just times 12 by 37. Or you can do it the other way around. 37 times 12. And you can work that out, and you could calculate any number of flapjacks using that system. So that's just what I wanted to flag up with you. Have a look at the video. There's a short video, and it just reminds you of a few of the skills, and then there's a couple of pages worth of activity for you to have a go at. Crack on with that. As ever, the answers are just below the activity. Wait until you've had a good go at the activity. Don't spend more than 10-15 minutes on it, but wait until you've had a good go at the activity, then take a look at the answers and see which ones you got right. Have a look over again the ones that you got wrong.